So highly recommend that special if you want to watch it. So you've definitely got that kind of stuff where we're dabbling back into the world of stand up. But I don't think I ever mentioned this, right? I did actually pirate The Flash last night on that very TV back there. Audio listeners just pointing my finger, right? Watch The Flash on that very TV back there. And this one, we're not doing a James rambling reviews of this. I did want to dive deeply into it, and it gives it gives kind of like this contrast of like how we've been doing the relevant subject matters lately. Well, this movie came out in the back half of June or something. Wait a minute, actually, I'm just gonna double check when this movie came out, and then we'll dive into sort of my thoughts on the film and kind of the whole shebang with it, because there was quite a few things to do with this movie outside of the film as well that contributed to it, I think. So it came out on June 15th, right? So the Flash, right? Worlds kill. So it says here, right? Actually, no, I don't know if I need to do the plot summary, but like, if just so I remember, right? Worlds collide when the Flash uses his superpowers to travel back in time to change the events of the past. However, when his attempt to save his family inadvertently alters the future, he becomes trapped in a reality which General Zod has returned, threatening annihilation. With no other superheroes to turn to, the Flash looks to coax a very different Batman out of retirement and rescue an imprisoned Kryptonian Abate, not the one he's looking for. So that's what the Flash is about, and it stars Ezra Miller. And there's this like whole controversy about how he did all these horrible things and did all these horrible things like assault and stuff like that. But I feel like when it comes to this movie, you should just kind of forget about that. Obviously, he did heinous acts, but what you do outside of a film does not contribute to what you do inside a film, if you know what I mean. Also, this movie is 2.5 hours long, which I don't really feel like it was 2.5 hours long. Personally, I kind of actually really enjoyed the Flash movie. You know what? Like, there was all this stuff about how the movie bombed at the box office. It did horribly for Warner Brothers. Oh, it's the worst movie ever. And this movie actually took years and years to film because they kept reshooting it and reshooting it, and it went through all these different directors and all of that. But there was all this controversy around it, and I'm just like, no, bro. So what did I think worked about this film? Well, personally, I was not expecting Ezra Miller's performance to kind of be super amazing, because I'm somebody that's not always super into DC, so I never saw what he had to offer in the Justice League. Like, I did see the Snyder's Justice League, but I don't remember having a huge role, so getting to see how he acts was good. And there's like two versions of Barry Allen, and what I thought was like, it was interesting to see how there was this one version of Barry Allen, super confident, not as mature, then one Barry Allen that's just super silly and immature. So getting a bit of a contrast of these two kind of different versions of one person was cool. And I did like that about it. There was also Michael Keaton in this movie. He's like one of the older Batmans. There was quite a lot of cameos in this movie, which were kind of cool, I guess. But the movie doesn't use cameos and like like cameos and Easter eggs as like a launching off point for the plot. Like, there's actually kind of substance. Like Michael Keaton, sure, there's stuff like he says, wanna get let's get nuts and all of that. Like, you wanna get nuts and all of that, right? That's what he said in the original films and stuff like that in his movies. Like, there's a bit of like nostalgia. There's also like the Lego Batman. Well, I remember like the theme song, the Batman theme song. Remind me when I played Lego Batman back in the day. So you got all of that, and Michael Keaton's performance is really good. But I was hearing these things about how Ezra Miller for an hour of this movie is so annoying, but I actually didn't mind it. So you get that, and like it's an hour in, right? You get an hour in, you get about an hour of Ezra Miller, and then you get a bit of you get a bit of Michael Keaton, and then you also get a bit of Supergirl. Supergirl also kind of surprised me, because this was another actress where I was another actor or actress where I was like, yeah, I don't really know too much about the actress or actor myself. Didn't see them in too many roles, so getting to see them in this movie was quite cool, and she kind of had a cool role to play. She had all these powerful pieces of dialogue, and she was just really strong, and also like General Zod was okay, I guess. It wasn't like something I was blown away by. There is a bit of CGI, like the CGI does feel a bit PS2 generated, but it's not like entirely horrible because I've seen people say, oh, the special effects are so bad, oh, this movie is so bad, and oh my god, oh my god, oh my god, right? And everyone was complaining about The Flash, but personally, this movie I was certainly surprised by it. I'm like I was saying, right. I'm not somebody that's super duper into DC, so the fact that this movie surprised the hell out of me is good to say. But I'm not gonna tell you this is like a masterpiece because, like I was mentioning, the CGI isn't perfect. The CGI certainly is not perfect. So I would say, like, if you like me don't have anything else to watch, I definitely recommend you go pirate The Flash, right? And this is not, I don't think this is the first time where we've kind of dived deeply into films that came out like a while ago and stuff like that. So I would give The Flash maybe like an 8 out of 10, especially with how like Ezra Miller's acting lifts a lot of emotional scenes and all of that stuff with his mother, and it was just a great film overall, and I'm glad this movie was very enjoyable. I did hear it's doing well on video on demand, which is good. So I think I spent like maybe like 3 or 4 or 5 minutes or whatever on it. I don't know if I can talk about the Flash like tons and tons and tons and tons and tons and tons, but definitely highly recommend it. And I will say that, right, I'm still going to go on about The Flash a little bit more here. So, remember how I talked about Black Adam and I also did my Shazam 2 review? Well, I do think that The Flash is definitely tons and tons better than those two films combined, and it's one. And there's been a lot of multiverse movies with cameos recently, like Doctor Strange was like a Doctor Strange and Multiverse of Madness was kind of meh, right? You've had kind of like you kind of had these multiverse movies that are kind of meh and forgettable. Well, this movie I don't know about that. Maybe like down the line I'm gonna start forgetting about the Flash, but in the moment I had so much fun. And the ironic thing about this movie is that there's this one point where the Flash is like, "Come on, Barbie, let's go party." And I do remember there's like this dark version of the Flash, so definitely a lot happened in this film and super entertaining and everything like that. So I think I've been kind of have been raving on and on and on about The Flash, but I thought I would give my appreciation towards it because it was a very, very good movie.